There's breaking news that is coming in. Uttar Pradesh police has confirmed a bomb threat, a call by an unidentified caller to bomb the Ram Janmabhoomi complex. Uttar Pradesh cops have said that the threat was made by an unidentified caller. A case has been registered and a probe is underway. I'm being joined by my colleague Vedant for more on this. Vedant, what are the details that we have at this point?
Well, Sneha, first of all, not to create any sort of panic, remember what the police have said on record is that at around 5 a.m. this morning, a local resident of Ayodhya, Manoj Kumar, who lives in the Ramkot area of Ayodhya, which is very close to the Ram Janmabhoomi temple complex, he received a call from an unidentified caller, and he essentially the caller essentially said that he will bomb and blow up the temple complex by 10 a.m. this morning. This is what he said. He told Manoj Kumar, that Ayodhya resident, at 5 a.m. in the morning. Now all of this is as per what the local resident told the Ayodhya police. Now remember, an FIR has been registered, the Ram Janmabhoomi police station. They have registered an FIR, and they immediately responded to what was notified to them by this Ayodhya resident, and they ramped up PCR vans and police personnel around the Ram Janmabhoomi complex area, and they registered an FIR, and they're also constantly trying to track down the caller as well. They're trying to trace his location. Now remember, what we're also being told by the police is that when he received the call, this Ayodhya resident was in Allahabad in Kumbh, and when he received the call, the caller actually said that he's calling from Delhi, and that within 10 minutes he will blow up the entire Ram Janmabhoomi temple complex. Now, of course, the police have so far not been able to track the caller, but they say that it may very well be a hoax call as well. So that aspect also needs to be kept in mind, because of course the police also say that such hoax calls are made intermittently as far as Ayodhya is concerned, particularly in the context of the politics around the temple as well. So no need to panic is what the police is saying. Swift action has been taken, patrolling has been ramped up, and police personnel have been deployed.
Right, thank you Vedant for these details. Let's also listen to what the police has to say.
यह प्रकरण थाना राम जन्मभूमि जनपद अयोध्या का है। रामलला सदन के मनोज कुमार, जो वर्तमान में इलाहाबाद में कल्पवास कर रहे हैं, सुबह लगभग 5 बजे उनके मोबाइल पर एक कॉल आई और ये कहा गया कि मैं दिल्ली से बोल रहा हूँ, आज 10 बजे तक राम जन्मभूमि को उड़ा देंगे। ये सूचना जैसे ही थानाध्यक्ष को प्राप्त हुई, तत्काल इस संबंध में मुकदमा पंजीकृत किया गया। टीम लगाई गई है, उस व्यक्ति की तलाश में हमारी टीम रवाना है। शीघ्र ही उसकी गिरफ्तारी कर आवश्यक कार्रवाई की जाएगी।
And moving on to the other news that we have, global gold rates hit more than a 9-month high, and global markets gained. However, Sensex ended 224 points higher on uneven trade today, while the Nifty closed flat in the red. Here's a report on the stock-specific action in trade today.
Considering the volatility of the market seen yesterday, our board strongly felt that it would not have been morally correct to proceed with the FPO. Hence, to insulate the investors from potential losses, we have withdrawn the FPO.
The chairperson of the Adani Group, in pre-market video statement, reassuring investors that the fundamentals of the group are solid. However, when the markets opened, 5 of the 7 Adani stocks mentioned in the Hindenburg report hit lower circuit today, after the group withdrew the Adani Enterprises follow-on public offer. But the group's stocks have lost over $100 billion in their market value from when the report came out. The tanking shares created concerns regarding several public and private sector banks that have significant investments in Adani Group shares. SBI and IDFC First Bank clarified their exposure to the company's stocks. An SBI official told BQ Prime that the exposure is backed by cash flows and that there's no credit quality concern with the Adani Group. IDFC First Bank said that Adani companies have strong cash flows and that the bank is comfortable with the exposure to the company's stocks. The Adani Group chairperson says that the group has an impeccable record of fulfilling its debt obligations.
Our balance sheet is healthy and assets robust. Our EBITDA levels and cash flows have been very strong, and we have an impeccable track record of fulfilling our debt obligations.
The shares of the Adani Group's flagship company, Adani Enterprises, have hit their lowest level since June 2021, losing more than half of their value in just the last 5 days in the aftermath of the Hindenburg report. The Adani Group calls this current market situation unprecedented. Priyanshi Sharma for NDTV.
And Parliament witnessed repeated adjournments as opposition members stormed the well of both the houses, demanding a discussion and investigation into US short seller Hindenburg's report on the Adani Group of companies.
सदन की कार्रवाई The House is adjourned 2023 को प्रातः 11 बजे तक के लिए 3rd February.
Parliament witnessed repeated adjournments as opposition members stormed the well of both houses, demanding a discussion and investigation into the fall of Adani Group shares after US short seller Hindenburg's report and its impact on investors. In a rare display of unity, the TMC, Aam Aadmi Party, Samajwadi Party and BRS, which has stayed away from the Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra, joined the opposition meeting. In all, 16 parties led by Congress met at the office of Leader of Opposition in Rajya Sabha to chalk out a joint strategy to corner the government over the issue in the Parliament.
लोगों के हित में हम ये काम कर रहे हैं और हमारा डिमांड यही है, चर्चा करा और हमारी मांग ये है कि या तो जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी बनाओ और इसकी इंक्वायरी करो, या नहीं है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस के नेतृत्व में कमेटी बनाकर इसको इंक्वायरी कराइए और डे टू डे रिपोर्ट बाहर करते जाइए, यही हमारा डिमांड है।
और इसलिए मैं निवेदन करता हूं, चर्चा करो, पार्लियामेंट चर्चा के लिए है, चर्चा करो। आप ये ऑलवेज जब बजट सेशन शुरू होता है तब प्रायोरिटी रहता है, फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी रहता है राष्ट्रपति अभिभाषण में थैंक्स गिविंग मोशन का, इसलिए मैं हाथ जोड़ के निवेदन करता हूं, कृपया चर्चा शुरू करो।
Though the government has asked the opposition parties to cooperate with the motion of thanks for the president's address for now, the government has not made it stand clear whether they would be agreeing to the demands of the opposition parties, while sources in the opposition parties say that they will not settle for anything less than a JPC probe into this matter, and they will be continuing with their protest even on Friday. With camera person Manoj Thakur, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
And Siddique Kappan, a journalist from Kerala, held in custody for more than 2 years after his arrest in Uttar Pradesh without any trial, walked out of jail today on bail. He had been in jail for over a month after he got bail in the 2 cases filed against him while he was on his way to report on the gang rape and murder of a young woman whose death sparked nationwide protests in 2020.
Tears, hugs, and a victory sign. Journalist Siddique Kappan's family, who waited for over 2 years for Kappan to be released from jail after his 2020 arrest by the UP police on terror and sedition charges and a 2021 money laundering terror financing case by the ED.
Thank you. I am very happy.
Kappan was arrested in 2020 by the UP police when he was on his way to Hathras to report on the rape and murder of a 19-year-old scheduled caste girl and the cover-up of the horrific crime. Not only was he charged with sedition and the strict anti-terror law UAPA, the UP police have also said in court he is a member of the now banned Popular Front of India. In October 2020, Kappan was arrested by the UP police while on his way to Hathras. Kappan was charged with sedition and anti-terror law. In February 2021, the ED filed a money laundering case against him. The ED accused him of terror funding. In September 2022, the Supreme Court granted bail to Kappan in a terror case. Kappan's legal team struggled to find Lucknow-based sureties. A bail condition was imposed by the trial court. In December 2022, the Allahabad High Court granted bail in the money laundering case.
Justice delayed.
Right.
This is justice denied.
Right.
This is a half-baked justice. I don't know. Crime is a journalism. Journalism is not a crime. Journalism is like activism. This is not a crime. They said I am a Popular Fund founding member. This is false narration. I will fight. I will continue my fight against draconian laws, UAPA, AFSPA, like this.
While granting bail to Kappan last September in the UP police case, the Supreme Court came down heavily on the UP government, questioning the evidence against him. The top court said that an individual's freedom of expression must be upheld.
Kappan was released from jail over a month after he was given bail in both the cases against him due to procedural delays and bureaucratic lapses. The delayed justice has pointed out to a larger problem of accused languishing in jail despite being given bail by courts. Nevertheless, Kappan's release is being seen as a major vindication not just for him and his family, but the entire media that reported fearlessly on the horrific Hathras crime. In Lucknow with camera person Vineet and Rajesh Gupta, Vedant for NDTV.
And the fund allocated for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, the government's flagship rural employment scheme, was cut drastically by 33% in this year's budget, the lowest in past 4 years.
68-year-old Ruprati, like many wage labourers in this small village near Lucknow, is without work for the past 7 months. She is compelled to borrow for survival, she says, because her family has not received work under the government's 100 days rural employment scheme since early last year.
हाँ नरेगा चले तो ना हमका नरेगा में कुछ फायदा है अब जैसे कोनी औरी दिहाड़ी में गए तो नहीं सहिता पाया अब नरेगा में है तो अपन घंटा 2 घंटा कर लिया 10-15 मिनट सहिता लिया तो हमका मतलब आसान है कुछ और काम हमका आसान नहीं तो कह रहे हैं कि नरेगा चले तो काम करी
तो अब क्या काम करती थी पहले आप और अब क्यों नहीं कर रही? अब काम नहीं आ रहा है?
अब काम नहीं आ रहा है और तो काम पहले किया है फरुहा चलाया ना डलिया ढोए ना है.
For many households in rural India with no education and minimum skill, wages received under the scheme are their only source of income and social security. Many, however, have still not received their long due wages under the scheme. Sonu Verma's husband, for instance, is a daily wage worker, a mason who does sanitary jobs. He does not have a regular income, but Sonu's work at the MGNREGA site is crucial to the family's income and to support the family of 5.
हम 9 से 5 एक नरेगा में जाते हैं और वहाँ पे काम भी करते हैं, काम भी बहुत देते हैं, फिर भी पैसे कट जाते हैं, तो हमारा घर के खर्चा बिल्कुल नहीं चल पाता है. तो सरकार से रिक्वेस्ट है कि 400 रुपए तो भेजे ही भेजे, हमारे पैसे बिल्कुल नहीं काटे और बहुत दिक्कत होती है, हमें परेशानी होती है मतलब खर्चा चलाने में.
The fund allocated to MGNREGA, the government's flagship rural employment scheme, was cut drastically by 33% in this year's budget, the sharpest decline in the past 4 years. At 60,000 crores, the budget allocation to the scheme is lower than all Modi 2.0 years. This, even as the economic survey showed that nearly 7 crore households and over 15 crore individuals demanded work under the scheme last year. The government says that the demand for work under the scheme that helped the most vulnerable rural households survive the lockdown has fallen to pre-pandemic levels.
We estimate that the actual level of genuine demand for MGNREGA is likely to decline in the coming year. ये एक बात. लेकिन अगर actual level of demand बढ़ता है, तो as we have done in the past, it can always be augmented during the year.
Even though the demand for jobs under NREGA has reduced, the fact of the matter is that an unusually high number of houses in rural India are still dependent on NREGA for employment and income. Well, jobs creation is still a pipe dream for rural India, and the benefits of economic growth are yet to percolate down to the grassroots. In Lucknow with camera person Vineet, Vedant for NDTV.
Welcome back. And India and US have now decided to elevate their bilateral strategic partnership. They're going to have some very close cooperation, specifically in tech area, and here's why.
National Security Advisor Ajit Doval ending his Washington, D.C. visit with a meeting with Antony Blinken. The U.S. Secretary of State adding on Twitter that they discussed deepening the strategic partnership between India and the United States. NSA Ajit Doval earlier met his counterpart Jake Sullivan for the first meeting under the Initiative of Critical and Emerging Technologies, or the ICET. The ICET aims to position the two countries as trusted technology partners by building technology value chains. Senior U.S. administration officials say this is even bigger than the landmark 2006 Indo-U.S. civil nuclear deal under Manmohan Singh, which had ended India's pariah status after the Pokhran nuclear tests. Even as both sides were initiating the security initiative, it emerged that discussions are on for a visit by Prime Minister Modi at the invitation of President Biden, possibly in June or July. This assumes much significance as the Prime Minister would be making time for this visit during a hectic year of diplomacy when India is hosting both the SCO summit likely in June and the G20 summit in September.
I'm not going to get into commenting on such media reports. As you're very well aware, and I love saying this multiple times, I don't have a crystal gazing ball. We will announce high-level visit at the appropriate time. At this point, I'm not aware of any specific date or visit. However, as you know, there are visits going on there. And so let me not prejudge anything. I saw some report, but best avoided commenting on such reports.
If this visit materializes, there'll be at least 3 meetings between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Joe Biden in less than 4 months, starting from May when they'll be meeting at the Quad Summit in Australia, and then the June-July dates that are being looked at for Prime Minister Modi's visit to Washington, D.C. And later that year, in September, President Joe Biden will be traveling to India for the G20 summit. Though China is clearly on the minds of both sides, but senior U.S. administration officials said that it's an effort that is larger than that, the U.S.'s desire to participate in India's rise. The White House says it is to elevate and expand the strategic technology partnership and defense industrial cooperation between the two sides. In New Delhi, Siddique for NDTV.
And what seems to be the buzzword all over, ChatGPT. Well, is it going to be a crackdown, a cheating tool, or is it going to be a learning aid? Here's the report.
ChatGPT, or Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer, has taken the world by storm. This artificial intelligence tool has triggered a tsunami of excitement and anxiety on how it would change exams, learning and the classroom. Simran Bhandari, pursuing second-year MBA in finance at the Jain deemed to be university, is using ChatGPT to complete an assignment related to banking. What's worrying is it takes over and there's no thinking to be done by the student.
We can't stop the students from using it. However, we would have to bring in rubrics that would not only test the outcomes, but will measure and evaluate the process of getting to the outcome.
Sanjay Chitnis, Dean of Computer Science Engineering at RV College, points out that ChatGPT obviates the need for thinking and analysis in the subject by the student. So the college has switched off internet services in the campus to limit its use.
So the only way to stop that is to not have access to ChatGPT, that is internet.
Students are ecstatic using this application, though they are wary about artificial intelligence and robots making humans redundant, causing job losses.
I am a bit worried about how developer jobs are getting affected because of ChatGPT.
Released in November last year by California-based OpenAI, this bot was able to pass 4 graduate-level exams at the University of Minnesota Law School and a test at the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. implications for the future are still not well understood.
ChatGPT is, though it's convincing, but not all that very effective. That's what the students say. But again, it's not reached a point where it's replacing the human intelligence or making it obsolete just yet. In Bengaluru with Kumar, Srijapa, NDTV.
And that's all we have in this bulletin. Thank you for watching.